Tonight on KGW News, parents say a riot broke out at their child's school.
There were fights inside of the school, there were fights outside of the school.
Now they're questioning how the school handled it. And it's been billed as the alternative to police and one solution in Portland's homeless crisis.
It's been 8 months in the making.
The street response team's major expansion. Plus, the next time you head to Cannon Beach, you'll be paying more for your dinner. Your news starts now. Kid-sized vaccines are a go in Oregon and Washington for children 5 to 11 years old. First the FDA, then the CDC, and finally the Western States Scientific Safety Review all found the vaccines are effective and safe for this group. KGW's Alma McCarty heard from doctors with the Oregon Health Authority this afternoon. Alma?
Dr. Dean Seidlinger and Dr. Kristen Dillon, two of the top health officials for the state of Oregon, are both excited about moving forward with this age group. They hope many others feel the same, but understand there's still some hesitation. To the north of us in Seattle, dozens of kids got their first dose of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine Wednesday, less than 24 hours after the federal stamp of approval. Back home, expect some initial delay as Oregon providers receive the vaccine shipments in the coming days, but a smoother rollout than it was for adults. OHA estimates there are 330,000 vaccine-eligible children in this age group in the state.
We expect our healthcare system will not be able to accommodate all children who'd like to get vaccinated in the first few days that they become eligible. Families will be able to find appointments or drop-in services in the coming weeks if they're flexible, and check with their primary care provider, nearby pharmacies, and other sources.
Dr. Kristen Dillon with the OHA says they'll have enough doses for the next 4 to 6 weeks statewide and will supplement areas of high demand with incoming doses.
This is a 2-dose series with 3 weeks in between, and you don't get full protection until 2 weeks after. But I, hope that, we will see a significant number of children get vaccinated in the coming week.
Dr. Dean Seidlinger, the state's epidemiologist, tells me he expects many families to head to their pediatrician or primary care provider.
So we anticipate that after this initial rush, that's where the vast majority of vaccines will be given, where you take your child to get care, where you take your child to get a checkup.
Both doctors say that's also a really good place to get any of your lingering questions answered.
Write them down, ask your provider with your next visit, because we want parents to be assured that, no steps were cut in having this vaccine authorized for use in younger children.
The Kaiser Family Foundation has done a great job of tracking this over time, is about a third of parents are eager to have their children vaccinated right away, they say. About a third of parents are saying they're going to wait and see. And then there are a decent proportion of people who do have a lot of concerns and questions.
Concerns and questions are welcome, but they want to make it clear the vaccines are effective, they're safe, and the kid-sized doses are only a fraction of what is given to adults.
One of the main reasons is to prevent increased side effects in this age group.
Now, the same place you've gone to look up other vaccination sites, getvaccinatedoregon.gov, that's the same place you'll want to go to check for locations specific to kids 5 to 11. Health leaders say many upcoming mass vaccination sites will likely allow for everyone in the family to get their shots or boosters, so you don't have to go to multiple places.
Well, that's good to hear. Thank you, Alma. Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler today announced a series of big steps he said are needed to fight crime and violence in the city. They include hiring 200 police officers in the next 3 years and getting body-worn cameras for the force. Wheeler pointed out the city has seen 1,000 shooting incidents so far this year and a record number of homicides, 72. The mayor said the money for more cops and cameras would come from a one-time surplus for the city of $62 million. He wants to spend $7 million of that on police.
As a leader of this city, what these families and the greater community want and need from me and the city council is increased action and better results.
The mayor also proposed paying retention bonuses for police already on the force and hiring bonuses of up to $25,000 for the first 50 officers qualified. He also wants to hire another 100 unarmed officers who would respond to less dangerous calls. The plan still needs to be approved by the full city council, but the mayor believes he does have the votes. An alternative program to police is also expanding. This week, after months of serving just the Lentz neighborhood, the Portland Street Response shared it's tripling its service area. Catherine Cook shows us who will benefit.
It's been 8 months in the making. And
Robin Burrick is excited and hopeful. The program manager for Portland Street Response is thrilled to see the service expand once again. The pilot program sends paramedics and mental health experts, not police, to nonviolent calls involving mental illness or addiction. Since February, its service has been contained to the Lentz neighborhood, but this week it expanded to most of Southeast Portland, growing from 13 to 36 square miles and 22 neighborhoods. Burrick points to their address lookup tool to find out if you're in the expanded service area.
I just don't think a lot of people know about it.
Hours of service also expanded. A new night shift crew will respond to calls from 6 p.m. to 2:30 a.m. Thursday through Sunday.
This evening shift will tell us, should we expect more calls in the evening? Will the nature of the call types that we respond to be any different than the ones during the day? And it will really help us understand the right team makeup as well as the scale of what this could potentially look like at a 24/7 citywide launch.
That citywide launch could happen as soon as next March. Portland Street Response put in a request with City Council, and if they approve it, it could add 4 more shifts and 7-day-a-week service.
So say if somebody outside your shop or inside screaming.
Portland Street Response teams consist of a firefighter EMT, a mental health crisis responder, and 2 peer support specialists. Burrick says their most frequent calls are welfare checks. For example, when someone's lying on the ground and appears to be unresponsive.
One of the most interesting takeaways from our calls and what we've learned so far in this pilot is how much basic needs and the lack thereof are really driving so many of the calls that we respond to.
Crews always carry donated supplies in their rigs, like warm clothes and bottled water. Burrick says she realizes the need for help right now is everywhere.
We'll continue to be able to divert calls away from the emergency department.
She hopes this is one step closer to meeting that need. Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Now let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines. The Newburgh Teachers Union is suing the school district and some board members. This comes after the school board elected to rid district buildings of images that depict political, quasi-political, or controversial topics like Black Lives Matter and Pride images. The union says it's going to court to protect the rights of educators. We're still watching a race too close to call from yesterday's election in Battleground. A levy to fund schools is passing and now has 53% of the vote. There's still ballots left to count, though. The levy would bring in $116 million over 4 years. And a new sales tax in Cannon Beach will be added to your restaurant bill. Voters approved a 5% sales tax on restaurants to fund the Cannon Beach Rural Protection District and to pay for a new city hall and police station. The vote, 52 to 48%. A similar vote in Newport was rejected. Now to a walkout and a brawl at a Portland school. Parents at Roseway Heights Middle School are wondering if their kids are safe in a building. We've heard from many parents who've contacted our newsroom. Our Mike Benner dug into what happened this week, and he has more.
As kids arrived at Roseway Heights Middle School for a delayed start Wednesday, there was a visible staff presence outside. Some parents wonder if it's enough.
So it's hard to feel confident and safe sending your kid to school, not knowing what's being done, but only hearing reports that the violence is escalating.
Parent Sally Stauffer is referring to what happened at the school Tuesday. Through a letter from the school, KGW has learned of a walkout in response to sexual harassment incidents among students. We're told fights then broke out, or as parents call it, a riot.
There were kids being chased by mobs of other students and being hit. My daughter got to witness that firsthand. There's a lot of racism going on. There were fights inside of the school, there were fights outside of the school.
School officials say one student suffered what's described as a medical emergency. They were checked out by medics and ultimately stayed at school, but still.
It made me nervous though. Yeah, it made me nervous and have my kid go to school here.
I'm not happy about it at all. There's just not a lot I can do because it's the school, it's the way the schools are run, basically.
The Portland Police Bureau was alerted to Tuesday's incident, but all they did was stage officers nearby in case of an emergency. They say they're not invited on campus. An administrator for the district says that's not the case at all. If a school or district official thought assistance or a police presence was necessary, they would have asked for it.
So I'm not really sure. I can't really speak about what that looks like.
What Sally Stauffer can speak to are the safe spaces the school set up for students to process what happened. There's one for students of color and one for other students. While Stauffer hopes it leads to change, she believes even more needs to happen.
And I think we need some restorative justice measures being taken. I hear that's in the works. They need to fully staff this school. We've got a lot of different things happening and not a lot of adult support.
In Northeast Portland, Mike Benner for KGW News.
Washington County this week became the first county in Oregon to ban flavored tobacco products. That includes menthol cigarettes and e-cigarettes. We talked to one business owner today who said the ban is going to put him out of business. Christopher Ferreira is the owner of Oregon Vape Shop in Hillsboro. And since most of what he sells is flavored tobacco, he fears he'll have to close up shop when the ban begins next month. Ferreira says he agreed with the initial intention of the ordinance to keep flavored tobacco away from kids, but he says the all-out ban goes too far.
The original language for this ordinance had merit and was correct, but it turned into a gross overstatement at this point.
But the American Cancer Society tonight says a ban like this is critical to keeping the products away from kids. Adding, data shows that menthol cigarettes and other flavor products like e-cigarettes are intentionally targeted at kids, communities of color, and low socioeconomic groups.